Okay, I just want to take a look at assignment number 2 and just kind of put in some error checking into this assignment so that it doesn't throw exceptions. So if I take a look just quickly at the design of assignment number 2, we can see that we have our main form. We have 4 text boxes here, and then we have a 5th text box where we can enter in numbers. We can only really enter in numbers from 0 to 2, or else it's going to throw an exception. Our code behind, and the reason for that is we have declared these different arrays here, one to handle names, phone number, register, and paid. And so just getting familiar with different variable types and then also arrays. But down here in this event, label text box text change, so to get to that, we would just double click there and you can see we're in this event, text box changed. What we have here is we have an index that's declared, and then if you take a look at that index is going to pull from label text box text. But the issue that we have there is we could have a parsing error here in the fact that it's possible that we enter in a blank, or possible we enter in a letter, and there's no way that we're going to be able to turn a letter or a blank space into an integer, and so we need to have a kind of a try and catch statement here that kind of handles that. So what we're going to actually put here is we're going to put a try statement, try, and then actually we're going to try all of this section of code, and then if though we throw an exception, there's a catch. And actually in this case, if it throws an exception, I don't want it to do anything. Do nothing. So we're going to put our code that we had in this event inside this try catch statement, just so, and what a catch does is if we're going to throw an error or an exception, then we're going to do whatever's in the catch. In this case, I don't want it to do anything. I don't want it to do any calculations, or I don't want it to try and parse that. So in this case, I want it to do nothing if it can't do what I want it to do. But there is another problem that we have here, in the fact that our array only has 0, 1, 2, so it's only a length of 3, and so this would be student's name 0, student name 1, student name 2, and so anytime I enter a number above 2, I should get an out of bounds exception. So I want to do something else about that to make sure. So the first thing that I wanted to make sure that I have within the try is I want to make sure, okay, yeah, this is a parsable integer, or parsable text object that we could turn into an integer in that text box. But then what I also want to have here is I want to have an if statement that is going to say, well, if it's above 3, tells the user enter a number below 3, and if it's below 0, enter a number below 0. So what I want to do here is if index is greater than 0, actually if it's greater than or equal to 0, and index is less than 3, we want to do this bit of code here. Right? Or else we want to tell the user that they have entered a number that's too high. So I'm just going to tab this over so we can kind of read this a little bit easier. This also is a good way to make sure I'm not missing brackets. In Windows, it's very easy to do a message box. So if they enter a number that's too high or too low, messagebox.show, and we're just going to put please enter a number between 0 and 2, and that should tell our user, okay, if I've entered a number that's too high, it's going to give us a number, or it's going to give us a message box. It's going to tell us to enter a better number. Okay, so we have a try and catch statement that's going to kind of deal with the fact that if I enter something that it can't parse, that's what we're going to do. And then I have this if-else statement to deal with an out-of-range exception that could happen if I enter a number that's not between 0 and 2. So now if I run my application, I should see now if I enter the number 3, please enter a number between 0 and 2. And I can also see that if I enter a letter or some kind of word here, it's not going to throw an exception there any longer. I enter 2, it's working. I enter 1, it's working. I enter 0, it's working. I enter 9, okay, please enter a number between 0 and 2. And so it tells the user exactly what to do. So that's just some kind of added error checking that we've added to our application so that we can deal with possible exceptions that could be thrown in this example. Of course, in my previous video, I only entered one number, so no exceptions were thrown. But this should kind of, adding this to your code should kind of make that so that it's more usable and that we're not throwing exceptions. Talk to you next time.